Get robbed!
Only on
The Fan Upstate.
Three hours of sports talk radio excellence begins right now, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in. The Rob Brown Show is on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. What's up, Upstate South Carolina? Hello, America. What up, world? Welcome in. Glad to have you guys. Thank you very much for being a part of the show this AM. I am Rob Brown. Directly across the metaphorical glass from me is the Sultan of Swag, the Wizard of Wave, the Professor of Perfection, the content cash cow, the alpha and the omega of the Fan Upstate. Hashtag Dad Kicks, Colonel Grudge himself, the great one, Lonzo. It's midweek, Zo. T-minus 3 days and counting towards actual week one.
I am rocking the General today.
You are. Look at the General on the T-shirt.
The General. Yeah. It's the General.
The
right?
General.
I'm really excited about the General.
And always has been known as the General.
Yeah.
And nothing else.
Nothing, because if it was something else,
It'd
that
be
would.
silly.
Yeah, and you could get sued over
Yeah.
something else. So,
Could
yeah.
be silly. Rocking the General, which, by the way, I would like to point out to the previous owners of the General.
The General, yes.
Lonzo, if you look at the logo of the General that is on your shirt, which, by the way, I will say, I actually think is a really dope logo. I really do think it's a cool logo. If you look at that logo, you will recognize that rooster does have the comb on top of his head. He does have the crest up there
He absolutely does.
on that logo.
That's what makes him look wicked.
As does Cocky, by the way. As does Cocky. So, not saying, just saying. The General will take to the field this Saturday for the very first time.
Hey, you know what, though? You know what tomorrow? You know what happens tomorrow? Actual college football that matters. I know we had one game that mattered last week, but even more college football as week one starts, not week 0. Rob's calling it a continuation.
No. Week 1 started last week. I watched it.
No,
it was on TV.
That was week 0.
No, it was week 1. I most definitely saw it.
The powers that be, the people who make those decisions, who decide, I declare this week 0. Declared that week 0. So that was 0. I don't know who they are.
For the record,
whoever they are, the South Carolina High School Association decided works for us too. Why not?
You don't get to just be power at B and be like, I say it, therefore it is. Unless you're signing my paycheck. Unless you're signing my paycheck. Thursday night, Oklahoma State, number 12 in the country in action. Central Michigan is on the road at Boone Pickens Stadium in Stillwater. Pitt will host West Virginia in Pittsburgh.
You can't say Pickens without it sounding like country.
Boone Pickens.
Boone Pickens.
Boone Pickens. Ball State's at Tennessee as they get their SEC campaign underway. Do the Volunteers? A lot of question marks about whether Tennessee is going to be better this year. And it's a solid maybe. A lot of people starting to they're already ready to put Tennessee towards the top of the East pecking order. And I'm like, not so fast, my friend.
I know we have some Tennessee fans in the audience who get excited every single year, and every single year they're up and coming. I'm not making fun of it. Not really. Is this team that's up and coming, how many years does that actually take? Is there a set amount of years where you have arrived? Because after a while, it's an empty promise. I don't like empty promises.
Looking at you.
Are you back or are you not back?
Looking at you, Mississippi State / Dallas Cowboys every single year.
Could also throw Miami in there. I mean, there's some teams you could throw in there.
Yep.
We're back, baby. No, you're not.
Baby. By the way, and I hate bringing this up, Did you watch Game Day on Saturday morning at all?
No, I watch Big Noon Saturday because I like it better.
Big Noon Saturday.
They're more.
Who named that show?
I don't know. Probably it's got big in it, so maybe the Big Ten had something to do with it.
That's fine. Why don't I just call it the Big College Football Show?
No, because the is taken.
Big Noon Saturday. Like, yeah. All right. Anyway,
I like the chemistry there.
it was like, all right, it's pregame show. It's
You
pregame. Show.
you could actually believe in those guys.
Is Herb back?
No,
Okay, good.
it was some other coach. I can't remember who it was, but
I was.
he he had an Herb look to him though.
I did watch College Game Day on Saturday, as did, I am sure, a large percentage of college football fans. And they had Lee Corso on. And I love Lee Corso. I do. Coach is great. But it has gotten to the point that it is tough to watch. Like, let Lee Corso just stay home. Go to him at the end of the show to put on the headgear, right, for one more season, and then give him a farewell territory send-off. It was tough to watch Lee. They were doing their picks, and they were running through conference championship picks and playoff picks and national championship picks.
All right, I saw he was trending. I figured this was a reason why. I know they were. I did flip to it once and went, nah, this is not for me, and moved on. So were they all in separate places?
Yeah, it was remote.
So Herb Street wasn't with them.
No.
See, that's the thing. Herb Street has been his guy for the last couple of years. He's been, I don't want to say handler, but he's been next to him and covered for him and helped him the entire time.
Yeah.
Who was the guy who thought, it'd be all right on his own?
So what they did was they kind of diminished his role a little bit. They had him, they set him up. And I think Corso deserves a send-off tour.
So do I. I'm not anti-Corso, but I think he should have been gone a couple years ago because it's a bad look and you feel sorry for him. And it's awesome that he still wants to work. You got to believe that he still wants to work since he's there. But there comes a time when you have to move on just because it's sad.
Yeah. You know, I get it. You want Lee to be able to walk off on his terms instead of dictating, okay, you're done, guy.
I want him hand in hand with the Oregon Duck.
Yeah.
Wearing the Oregon Duck,
yeah.
They walk off into the sunset.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So I'm watching College Game Day on Saturday. And again, they were all remote. They were not in the same place since it was week 0 or whatever. But they built Lee a custom desk outside of his house in his neighborhood. And they invited his neighborhood to come out and be the backdrop. And he's at the desk. And they're running down the slate of Saturday games from this past weekend, right? And then they're going through projected conference championship picks, playoff picks, national championship picks, and national champion picks. And they go to coach. They're like, all right, coach, let's talk ACC. Who do you like? And they go to Corso. And again, it's not Corso's fault. Corso had a stroke, which, from my understanding, eats away at the, or can eat away at the communication facilities in your brain. They go to Corso, and he's like, I think Clemson's offense, you can hear him struggling. He's like, I think Clemson's offense wins this conference. I like the Tigers. Like, all right, good call, coach, good call. Moving on. And then they come back. All right, coach, who do you like in the SEC? He picked Clemson, Bama, Ohio State, and I think Oklahoma. And all 4 times he said the same thing. I think the blank offense wins them this conference. I like blank.
Is he not wrong though? I mean, he could technically be right.
I mean, maybe, but it was just tough to watch. Well, there have been a lot of folks on Twitter, on social media, that were like, hey, ESPN, right? Like maybe don't trot Lee out there. Maybe just let Lee hang. You know what I mean? Like maybe just let him hang out. Maybe just come to him for the headgear pick. Right? Let him have his moment. Maybe just let him come out for a headgear pick. And then go back. And Chris Fowler, who is currently calling the US Open and will be on game day Saturday, I believe. Fowler wrote out and said, Lee Corso's mind is as sharp as ever. I'm like, it might be, right? It might be. I have been told by people that in that situation, your brain still works just fine. Your brain still clicks along at full speed ahead, but for some stroke victims, the communications facility in your brain shuts down, and when that happens, you might have you may have very cognizant thoughts in the noodle. You just don't have the facilities to be able to express them, to communicate them well. And there's some theories that that's what's happening with Lee, right? That Lee's got no problem coming up with analysis. He just can't communicate it like he used to. My man, just let my man rest, dude, right? And I'm not saying take him off a game day. I'm just saying maybe you don't need to have him a part of every single segment where Kirk Herbstreit has to hold his hand and walk him segment by segment. Not because he can't talk good football, but because he can't literally physically talk good football. So you got to take extra time. You got to take one of your hosts, arguably your most famous guy on that stage, and he's got to basically handhold him, which means that he's not really free to do his own thing. I don't know, man. It's not a great. It's just tough to watch. Maybe I'm being selfish here. Maybe I'm being selfish by going, oh, it's tough to watch, so you should take this guy away from his job. I'm not saying take him off the show, but he doesn't need to be featured every single segment. I kind of feel like I'm being selfish bringing this up, because if he wants to work and ESPN's willing to let him, I mean, who the hell am I to say knock it off? But man, it was tough to watch on Saturday, and I don't expect it to be any better this week.
I think it's a matter that you care about this guy because you've seen him so much, and you feel like he's a part of your life because he's been there for you every Saturday and for lots and lots of people. And I think you feel like, why don't the people in charge there feel the same way? And why it's like they're trying to get every last penny out of him before they let him go.
I don't know, man. I mean, I agree. It's just it's hard. It's just hard to watch. It's just hard to watch. It's hard to see that. And you're right. College Game Day has been on television since 1993. I was 8 years old. College Game Day has been on the television for me 30 years. 30 years it's been on TV. 30 years it's been on TV. So to see a guy that has been 100% a part of every single Saturday for me for 30 years, and to see him struggle like that, it's just like, it's tough, man. It's just tough. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Texas said, fan, don't know if you noticed, Rob, they do break him in the middle of the segment, but I totally get you on this and have thought this for a few years now. Yeah. 30 years. This dude has been a part of pretty much every Saturday during the falls for me. And to watch him struggle the way that he struggled to communicate, man, it just hurts my heart, right? It just hurts my heart a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a softie. Maybe I'm being a bleeding heart. Keegan said, Rob, you're tough to watch a majority of the time, but we aren't calling for your job.
Which is why I was laughing and mouthing to the stream, you are not right. What's wrong with Keegan this morning, man? He's bringing it. He's usually not, I don't want to say he's angry.
Keegan's mad. Keegan's mad because I have a really, really cool event going on Saturday night that I invited him to, and he can't come because he's working. So he's going to miss out on the best party of the year.
Don't let him do that to you, Keegan. The working thing.
Working.
Because, like, when is Rob not working?
Saturday night.
So is this event involve line dancing?
No.
Okay.
No.
Allegedly.
No, it does not. It does not. It's,
There's no chance that line dancing could just break out in the middle of this event.
It's the lady friend's birthday. And she doesn't know what's going on, so I can't tell you.
Okay.
Well, I can tell you what it is off the air.
Okay, which
I can't
means
say what it is.
Which means line dancing could absolutely
no,
happen.
it's not line dancing. We just went line dancing this past weekend. Secret Cowboy Man, remember? That was your thing. All right, let's take a break. Actually, let's not take a break. Because as much as I'm bagging on Corso, and I'm really not trying to bag on Corso, but Corso did not. You know what? Maybe I should apologize to Lee. Because while Lee was struggling to get through and basically said that every team he picked was going to win, and I quote, because the offense is going to win it for them, end quote, Desmond Howard, who is young and cognizant.
He's not young, but he's younger than Corso.
Desmond's what? Desmond's just barely older than me?
No, he's more than that.
How old's Desmond Howard now?
I would say like 48.
He's 52?
Yeah. See,
God.
see, here's the thing. Both Desmond and Herb Street played high school football right
Yeah,
around the
that's
time
right.
that I played high school
Yeah.
football. So
Yeah, 52 and 53. Lee's 87, by the way. Well, okay. 52's the new 30, right? So, Desmond went on with his picks. You ready for Dez's playoff 4, Lonzo?
is Michigan in there?
Sure as hell are.
Of course. I don't blame him for that. That's where he went to school at. And they were there last year, so why not?
Desmond's playoff 4. Michigan, Pittsburgh, Texas A&M, and Baylor.
Wow.
That's what I said.
He's trying to get himself off the show.
I guess. I guess he wants to be a part of big noon, big kickoff, big game day, big noon game day, big noon show.
Quit cracking on
Up the big
noon
noon.
Saturday. More people watching that now, than have been, and it's going to continue to watch it because, there's good football over there.
And they don't have guys picking Texas A&M, Pitt, Michigan, and Baylor as their Final Four.
I guarantee you they don't.
If Desmond Howard gets 3 of the top 4 correct, 3 of the top 4 correct with this 4, I will drink a beer through a hot dog straw.
All right, I got to address this really quick. Steven is wondering if I'm trolling Mark with my Gamecock shirt. Here's the thing.
You mean the general shirt?
Yeah, I'm not trolling Mark. Mark, sometimes he colors things for the air because that's what some people do on the air. It's football season. I wear my gear in football season. That's what I always do. And when football season's over, then it's nerd season for me, and it's nothing but nerd T-shirts, as can be seen on stream if you go back, a couple of years. Go back to football season. I'm wearing footballs. It's just how that works.
Mark hates that there are Spurs on the general in that logo.
Probably.
No, I'm telling you, I was on the show. That's what he said.
Okay, well.
He said he hates that there are Spurs because it. What was it? It was
those poor animals. That's probably what it was.
Not promotes. It was it shows tolerance for an illegal activity, right? Because cockfighting is an illegal activity.
He's right. It is an illegal activity, but you know what? I bet he eats those chickens too. I'm just saying. So how much tolerance do you have if you're eating chicken? Just saying. Don't wear no Spurs, but I'm at Popeyes or KFC or, Bojangles over the weekend.
Popeyes.
I'm really working on that,
Popeyes.
on that email. I haven't gotten it yet.
All right, now let's take a break. Well, I had to throw Desmond's picks out there.
I have no problem with you throwing Desmond under the bus.
I'm sure. I'm just saying, Dez.
Take your Heisman pose home.
Dez. Come on, guy. All right, Carolina's final 53 is set. We're going to talk about that later. Zane Gonzalez is on the IR. They don't have a kicker on the roster right now. Worked out 4 yesterday. I'll tell you if anybody stood out. We're coming to that very shortly. Betting money on week 1. You know what today's a good day for? A little gambling talk. I'm going to run through some real world examples so that Lonzo, before we put the Boo Box bets on for Friday, Lonzo's going to get one more crash course in how to gamble on football. That's coming up. And when we come back here in just a minute, South Carolina, Shane Beamer said they were going to be on the forefront of NIL developments, and he put some muscle into that claim yesterday, or at least the university did. I'll tell you what, when we come back, Rob, Lonzo, you, the Rob Brown Show's on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate.
What's cracking? It's Rome here. Playmakers.
What's
you know it.
cracking?
Mark Ryan, Rob Brown, DA,
What's
and
cracking?
yours truly, Jim.
You guys do know that I will get in
You're
trouble
on the Fan
eventually for
Upstate.
saying stuff about Mark, especially if you guys go and tell him. I mean, you know. It ain't like he doesn't listen to the show, because he does.
Today is the Bald Boston.
Josh A joins us at 4:20 to make his pick, and will do so the entire season. Group of 5 versus Power 5. Are we heading toward an era where we
Do
don't
you know if he
about
likes cookie cake?
Number 1 for real.
Could have some sort of intolerance or
Offsides with
something.
Mark Ryan.
3 to 7 on the
I like cookie cake. Don't look at me. I'm just, yeah.
Green, yes or no? Cookie cake.
From the 106.3 WORD.
Rob just asked, is it
Next,
kissing
most
up to
trusted
buy the
forecast on
boss a
Upstate.
cookie cake for his
Sunny
birthday?
skies today, high around 90. Tonight, mostly
I'd have to
sunny,
say
low
yes.
67.
I mean, you
Thursday,
know.
sunny high of 89, and Friday mostly sunny high around 90. For the Labor Day weekend ahead, chances for rain showers, highs in the mid to upper 80s. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on the Fan Upstate. Currently, it's 77.
Hey, it's Rob.
You don't
Brown.
even know,
Listen, there are
lad.
some people
You
in the
don't even
industry that
know.
are going to tell you selling a home today is a hassle. Ladies and gentlemen,
See,
it is not a hassle.
I limp every
It
day, but I
is an
turn my limp into a
opportunity,
pimp,
and
'cause that's
that
what
is
you
because
do.
Home values in most areas have appreciated significantly, and buyer interest is still incredibly strong. With
I know I'm not the only
they
one that
will
turns
help
their
you
limp
get
into a
your
pimp.
home ready to sell. They will help you price it right and
not
market
an
it to
actual pimp, it's a
qualified
way of
buyers
walking,
so you can
you know.
sell it quickly for maximum value. And isn't that what you want, to sell it for as much as
I've been
you can?
limping
Yeah,
since
obviously.
1987.
And in today's real estate market, there is no need to discount the value of your
Cool,
most
Trey. I am
important
alternating my
investment. Choose
my Buckeye
your
gear and my
best
Gamecock
offer
gear
when
this
you work
week
with the
because,
#1 real
you know,
estate
it's week
company
1.
in the Carolinas, Allen Tate. You
And
can
I went
find
through
them
my closet
online
and found a
at
bunch of stuff that I forgot I had,
allentate.com.
so.
If you are looking to buy or sell, I am telling you, check them out online at allentate.com.
What I would tell people is that you
Thank you, lad. I was making fun of Rob so much that I forgot to do my job. Sad part is I had to go to the restroom too, but it's taking them forever to get back. Maybe we can get one of those. What are those automated carts called? Like in Walmart and grocery stores. Do they have a name? Is it like an automated buggy? I don't know what they're called. That's a good question, James. It's for entertainment purposes only, I believe is how they cover that. Still, what are those carts called? I mean, I gotta look that up. What are the automatic? Probably spell that right. Carts in grocery stores called.
Like the little ridey carts.
Yeah. Do they have a specific name? Also known as electric shopping cart or motorized shopping cart. I thought maybe they would have a name.
It's electric. Boogie woogie woogie.
Just in case you need one. I mean, you know, I was going to see if maybe,
It hurts.
maybe we can get one.
Friggin' foot hurts. I was telling Alonzo, I'll tell you guys on the stream, that I'm, you know, I've made the jokes about like I'm at the age where if I sleep the wrong way, I hurt myself. I don't know what happened, but at some point yesterday,
Rob hurt himself
yes,
today.
yesterday, at some point yesterday, I did something to my right big toe. It is now swollen up to almost twice the size it's supposed to be. And it hurts like a mug. And I don't know if it was from riding the motorcycle. I don't know if I mean, I didn't drop anything on it. I've broken my toe a few times, but it's always from dropping something heavy on it.
Did you dream last night that you tried out for kicker for the Carolina Panthers?
not.
Okay, because I mean, that would do it. Maybe you kicked the wall or something.
In my sleep.
Yeah. You haven't had that where you're like, you know, partially asleep and you have that dream where you jerk really quick? Maybe you did that and you just don't remember it and you like kicked something.
I mean, there's nothing really, like, my bed's not by the wall. I don't know what I would have done.
Maybe your
I don't know
toe
what
got caught
happened.
in your blankie.
First off, don't tell me you don't have a favorite napping blanket.
I'm about to turn 54. Everything's a napping blanket. I'm getting angry every day at like 6 o'clock when I want to go to bed. You know, those old people you make fun of because it's not even dark yet and you're in the bed. And all I can think of is, man, I could go to bed right now. I am getting up at like 5:45 to walk on the treadmill, and that's part of it. But still,
We have a kicker in Carolina.
yay! Can't wait to talk about it here on the air and on Views from Mint Street.
Yeah, we need to cut one today, don't we?
We need to cut one today.
Welcome back, y'all. The Rob Brown Show's on your radio. It is the Fan Upstate. Rob Lonzo and you right here on the Fan Upstate. You can, Lonzo, if you want to, you can go ahead and break the glass because we do have some breaking news here. Breaking news brought to you by our friends at BetQL. Be a better, be smarter, and beat the books with BetQL. Adam Schefter has dropped a Shefty bomb. No. I'm going to go no.
Adam Schefter was handed a note from the NFL and said, say this.
Panthers are signing veteran kicker Eddie Pinheiro to a one-year deal, according to Drew Rosenhaus. The Panthers obviously put Zane Gonzalez on the season-ending injury reserve yesterday due to the fact that he lost his groin.
Wait a minute. Dude's name is Eddie Pinheiro?
Pinheiro. Yeah, Pinheiro.
You mean like Fast Eddie Pinheiro over there? He's a kicker.
Eddie! Welcome to Charlotte.
Just wanted an excuse to play the music. You
I'm
haven't
mad about it.
You haven't heard it yet.
This is new.
This is the
This is much better.
mob music.
Yeah, this is much better.
Yes.
Carmine's, we're going to call this the Ode de Carmine.
Yeah. Yeah. Carmine sent it over actually.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, from Spartanburg Mafia.
Eddie Pinheiro signed by the Panthers just minutes ago per Adam Schefter to replace Zane Gonzalez. You know, it'd be really unfortunate if something happened to your kicker. You know? It was really unfortunate. I feel so bad for Zane, man. I feel so bad for Zane warming up Warming up.
Then-
He tore a groin.
The net put a hit out on him. It got him.
Oh, that's rough, dude. Eddie Pinheiro was most recently a member of the New York Football Jets, but Gang Green released him after former All-Pro Greg Zuerlein won the kicking competition. Pinheiro did kick for the Jets in 2021. Zuerlein was released by the Dallas Cowboys back in March. The Jets have struggled with kickers as well. This will be the 7th consecutive year that they open the season with a different kicker. They have gone through 8 total after losing Jason Myers to free agency. Pinheiro kicked well in games last year, converted all 8 field goal tries as a late season addition in 2021. Converted his lone attempt, a 26-yarder this preseason. He was 2 for 2 on PATs in the preseason. Did miss some practices recently due to back stiffness, but did kick on Monday night when the Jets played the Atlanta Falcons. So there you go, kids. Kicker talk here on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. It's fine signing. Pinheiro was obviously the best available kicker. In fact, it's probably about as good of an ask for that position as you could have for the Panthers, considering the fact the only reason that he is not on a roster right now is because of the fact that he got beat out by a former All-Pro in Greg Zuerlein.
So this is probably a dad joke, but they're starting to enter my head a whole lot. So who's the first announcer that says Pinheiro made that bread?
Me. It's me. Let's go get that bread, Pinheiro. That's a good line. I was trying to figure out how to work that in, and Zoe beat me to the punch. I like it. So I guess technically it's you. I like it.
No way Zoki passes that up.
Not at all.
No way, because he has the same kind of sense of humor. He's working that in right away.
Anish doesn't strike me as the cat that's willing to drop terrible puns on his broadcast. Zoki does.
Yeah, Zoki's one of us. He's
One of us.
He's one of us.
One of us. I had one on the Friday night game. This past Friday night, Chapman at Burns, and I'm trying to remember what it was. I know I dropped at one point. They got a wide receiver who's a stud named Zy Cook, and I was like, "Yo, Zy can cook," which is easy. It's too easy, but I take the easy ones. Anyway, I had one that Lane Fowler, who does color for us in the Burns games, he went like this, Alonzo. He's like looking at the field, and he just does the like head turn side eye. Like didn't even turn all the way to me. It didn't deserve that much effort, but just a head turn side eye. Like, are you for real? And on the air, I was like, "Yep, I said it, Lane." He's like, "Yeah, I heard it, Rob." And that was it. That was it.
Don't think for a second that your predecessor didn't do stuff like that. So
I have no doubt.
you're good.
I have no doubt. I've lost the capacity to feel shame as a broadcaster. All right.
It's called entertainment. It's called painting a picture, people. You were thinking it. He just said it.
Yeah. You ain't special. I can say dumb things on the radio too. All right. Let's do this. Let's take a real quick break because I want to get to this USC or U of SC, wherever you come from. I want to get to this USC story when we come back. Shane Beamer said, I swore you were going to go out with the Mafia music. Shane Beamer said when NIL came into play.
It's a different kind of mafia. We good.
Shane Beamer said when NIL came into play that his plan was to have USC to be on the leading edge of NIL developments. And the Gamecocks took a huge step in that direction yesterday. I'll tell you exactly what they did and how I think it impacts them moving forward when we come back. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. This is the Fan Upstate. All right, let's see what we got going on here.
It's all right, Keegan. We'll use it on Mint Street too, because the world hasn't heard it. Just as you guys got to.
James, who has understandably flipped his Avi from an Atlanta A to a Philly Eagle, said how do gambling shows work in states that don't allow gambling?
I thought there was a host who said you can't do that. You have to root for
All the teams in one city or no teams in one city. That is a fantastic question, James, and I will address it in the next hour when we do our gambling segment. Lad said you can't register for those shows or sites or anything like that if your home address is in a state that doesn't allow it. Correct. You cannot. That is accurate. But he said, but watching, yeah, entertainment. That is correct. Correct. James said, can I access the podcast from the Odyssey app itself? Yes, you can, young man. In the Odyssey app, just search Views from Mint Street, Views from Mint Street, and it'll pull it out for you. Click the old heart icon, and it will bring those episodes up for you. Absolutely. Trey said, are you guys going to see AEW All Out this Sunday at the theater? Probably not, because it is birthday weekend for the lady friend. At some point, Trey, you have my word that at some point I will be going to watch wrestling in a movie theater, 100%. I just don't know if I and that's not a definite no. If the lady friend goes hard in the paint on Saturday night, then there's a very good chance she'll go to bed at like 7 p.m. Sunday, and then maybe I sneak out. But I'm not banking on it. James said, can't wait to see Panero miss an XP against the Saints and the fan base lose their minds. Keegan said they need to trade the net. It's problematic and has an attitude issue. Yeah, I get it. But yes, you absolutely can access the Views from Mint Street pod directly from the Odyssey app.
I still haven't downloaded my own podcast yet. That's just horrible.
You should, Lonzo.
Yeah, I should add to the download.
For one specific reason, exactly.
Yeah, I know. I get it. By the way, saw the boss in the restroom, wished him happy birthday. He asked me how I knew. And I said, I heard it from a guy. No, I said I heard it in the hallways. That's what I said.
That'll work.
Yeah. And I also told him that I wouldn't have went all the way to the other side of the building to wish him happy birthday. But since I saw him in the restroom, I thought, why not?
Why not do it in the
that's the opposite of kissing up. I was like, yeah, I saw you. I guess I'll have to wish you happy birthday.
This is the weirdest point to say this, but happy birthday.
You and I both have witnessed conversations in the restroom that should not be happening because you shouldn't have a conversation in there.
I have in this building on multiple occasions.
We were at the sink though.
I have been told multiple times since working here, follow me into the bathroom so we can continue this conversation. And I'm like, you could just email me.
Hey, we're basically a locker room here. I don't know why you got a problem with it. I mean, this is just one big locker room. That's what radio is. It's one big locker room.
It really is. Especially a sports station.
Well, I'd throw the Planet in there, too. That's definitely a locker room over there.
You're not wrong.
One-on-one is a classic locker room. See what I did?
I do.
And Word is not a locker room. It's the coach's office. So, I mean, except on Saturday nights when the coaches are away.
Skrilla, welcome in, brother. Good to have you, as always, my guy.
Brother. Did you end up watching the rest of NXT?
It's on in there still. I haven't finished it. I've gotten to.
So you've already seen people showing up.
I saw Nikki and Dewdrop.
I mean, people talking to other people about how important belts are.
Yes, that was cool.
That continues.
I like it.
Oh, I think it's great. Makes me want to watch Sunday.
Yeah. I tell you, I haven't watched. I mean, well, I've.
By the way, I'm bringing this up because we can't. Well, we can on this show.
We can do whatever the
we
hell
can.
we
We can
want.
do Clash of the Castle, but we can't Saturday have Nerf Wall on the line for Clash of Castle because it'll already be over. But we can have When Worlds Collide, and that would be for Nerf Wall. And
I'm going in blind to that one.
well, and the other thing is, the following Saturday, if no cowboy stuff happens,
Cowboy stuff. Just say it, Lonzo.
you will be in the building and could possibly face the wall if you
correct.
were to lose.
That is correct.
You're at no more disadvantage than anybody else in that room over there who know nothing about wrestling.
Wrestling.
Of course, you have to agree to it. I mean, I wouldn't just throw you in there.
I'm not gonna not man up.
You're
Face the
going
wall if
to,
necessary.
it's tradition.
Yeah. This is the way. Palm mute, man. It's a talent. A metal riff. The Rob Brown Show's back on the radio. It's the Fan Upstate. Texas said Desmond decided he'd rather sit next to Herb on Fox. Accurate. What?
Yeah, sometimes you see a headline and you're just like, what's that? According to TMZ, just tweeted a pilot threatened to return the plane to the gate after someone wouldn't stop airdropping naked pictures around the cabin.
So you iPhone people, talk to me about the concept of airdropping. From what I understand, you can basically open up your phone to where people that you don't know can just send you stuff. And you don't know what it is.
You iPhone people.
You iPhone people. You iCult. Talk to me about that. Like, how does that, where you can just just send whatever you want.
Yeah, I've never done that because I'm old.
I've heard of it before. I've seen on Reddit before people like, I'm on a plane or I'm in a mall and somebody just sent me this. And like 90% of the time it's really funny, but every now and then somebody sends something really bad. That just sounds like a terrible plan to me, right? Like a terrible plan. All right.
Yeah, what's worse is when the pilot says, "Don't make me come back there."
Yeah.
Then you got a problem.
I will turn this plane around. We used to make fun of the parental units, because every now and then when you're a kid, you frustrate one parent so much that they're not even driving the car and they'll threaten to turn it around.
All right, I said, "Don't make me come back there," and Cameron said, "How?"
Did that make you madder? Were you like, you little?
No, when I stopped myself from
Coming back
visibly,
there?
visibly laughing.
Yeah.
Because what a line that
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
I said, "Here's what I'll do. I will pull the car over to the side of the road. I
And
will
then-
open the back door, and then I will come back there."
Shane Beamer said that South Carolina was going to be on the forefront of NIL as it developed. Welp. The University of South Carolina has become the first major college athletic department to partner with a sports marketing agency to establish an in-house name, image, and likeness firm where Gamecocks athletes will have free access to deal facilitation, content generation, and branding services. The school has hired Everett Sports Management to launch Park Avenue, an exclusive initiative that will provide NIL services for Gamecocks athletes. South Carolina's Board of Trustees on Tuesday afternoon approved the 2-year, $2.2 million contract. Everett Sports Management, based in Greenville, South Carolina, represents NFL players including Jalen Hurts, Mac Jones, and Jonathan Taylor, and handles NIL marketing for several college athletes, including Miami basketball players and social media stars Haley and Hannah Cavender, Georgia quarterback Stetson the Postman Bennett, and Coastal Carolina QB Grayson McCall. Ray Tanner told ESPN, quote, "There have been a lot of different approaches towards NIL, and nobody has gone this way. We're confident that this will be an impactful situation for our young men and women to play sports and get branded at the maximum level," end quote. Now, South Carolina state law, because remember, and this is according to ESPN's Adam Rittenberg, every state effectively laid down their own NIL rules, right? And that can put you at a severe disadvantage or advantage depending on what your state legislators say. But according to Rittenberg, in South Carolina, state law allows schools to help athletes secure NIL deals. Other states place restrictions on how involved schools can be in the process. Now, according to the agreement, ESM will not represent South Carolina athletes while they are in school and will be an ancillary service for athletes who already have NIL agents. South Carolina Senior Deputy Athletics Director Chance Miller told ESPN, quote, Park Avenue will bring the deals to the student athletes. They would help facilitate those deals through us, and then the student athletes get the entire deal. Athletes don't pay a percentage to any representation firm. We are paying that fee for them. You might have an agent, you might have a marketing rep. That's great. You can still work with them, and ESM can still bring you deals, end quote. According to Rittenberg, ESM has hired 5 staff members to oversee the South Carolina initiative and cannot partner with any other school during the first year of the agreement. In year 2, ESM cannot partner with other schools in the SEC or within the state. So South Carolina, who has pumped out, obviously, across all sports, a number of high-profile athletes. You got Aaliyah Boston, you've got Spencer Rattler, now you've got Gigi Jackson coming into town. The way it apparently is going to work. By the way, here's a quote from Shane Beamer before I get there. Shane said, quote, this is allowing them to market themselves in a very, very professional way and not some camera filming an advertisement on an iPhone. Look at even Shane taking down the iPhone, people. I love it. South Carolina is well positioned as any school in the country from an NIL standpoint because of what where we're located, capital city, SEC. We don't compete with pro sports. This is just another way to capitalize on that and allow our guys to really prosper. My biggest question was, how soon can we start? Because you see the benefits from it in so many areas. Spencer Rattler said, quote, it's great, not just for the big name guys, but even the guys that aren't as recognized as they should be. That'll help get guys' names out there, help benefit guys on the team in multiple different sports. It's cool because we're the first school in the country to do it with a big agency. They're going to come in and help us, so the more the merrier. Effectively, part of what would make you attractive as an NIL athlete is how good you are at getting your name out there, right? Like the company offering an NIL contract, they can go out and they can contract you and pay you money to use your name, image, and likeness in effectively advertising. But they also, in many cases, if they do want more than, hey guys, click this link in my Twitter, and my tweet. Or, hey man, it's Gigi. I'm out here at Bob's Used Cars filming this on my iPhone or whatever, said Shane Beamer. Right? Now, South Carolina is effectively fronting the dinero to have a marketing agency come in and go, all right, Gigi, Spencer, Aaliyah, you guys need a spot done. Call me. We'll come out, we'll bring the equipment, we'll film it, we'll edit it, we'll put it together, we'll drop it for you. Because now, how much more likely are you, if you are a business, to sign a contract with a guy who already comes with a marketing agency attached that does all the production work for you, right? Much more likely. When Rob signs an endorsement here on the station, Rob's got to write the script, the copy. He's got to record it. He's got to edit it. He's got to get it approved. He's got to send it downstairs. He's got to get it plugged in. I got to do all of that. Hell yeah, I want somebody who does all of that for me, where all I got to do is go, hey, my name is Rob Brown, and I use this product, and you should use this product too. And then somebody else does all the rest of that. Hell yeah, that sounds awesome. I love that. Makes it easier for the people offering the NIL contract. Makes it easier for the athletes involved in the NIL contract. And it increases the amount of money they can make, right? Because where a company might say, all right, we would pay you $12,000 a year, but we're going to pay you $11,000 and use $1,000 of that for content creation purposes. Videos, pictures, scripting that we want in your tweets, etc., etc. Now they can just give it all to the athlete because the athlete comes with all of those things there. The only shock I have about this story, it's not even that USC did it first. I'm not shocked by that. I'm not shocked that any school was the first. I'm shocked it took this long, right? I'm shocked it took this long because here's the thing. South Carolina's going in for $2.2 million on this, right? $2.2 million to sign this contract for 2 years. Do you think that with another couple of G.G. Jacksons, another couple of Aaliyah Bostons, another couple of Spencer Rattlers, South Carolina won't find a little more athletic success? And do you know what comes along with more athletic success? More dinero. Mucho dinero. Más dinero. More money. Now, will this thing pay for itself? I got to think yes, or else they wouldn't have done it. So I'm going to say, yeah, this thing is going to pay for itself. It makes the athletes better off. It makes them more likely to get NIL deals. Because think about it. Now, if you're a small business, right? You are Bob's Used Cars. And you got 15 to 20 cars in your inventory. You're not a big dealership with 1,000 cars on the lot. You got 20 cars, 15 cars on the lot, right? Now, signing an NIL deal doesn't just get your name attached to a South Carolina athlete in Columbia and across the state. Now, you effectively get a built-in advertising agency with it. That's brilliant, dude. That's brilliant. I am much more likely to sign a kid who comes with a built-in advertising agency than a dude who doesn't, right? Which means I'm more likely to sign with South Carolina up front. And if I'm more likely to sign with South Carolina, so are a lot of other kids. This is a masterstroke move. Like I said, I am not surprised that it's been done. I'm not surprised by who it's been done by. The only shock, the only surprise to me, Lonzo, is that it took this long to happen.
I thought schools weren't supposed to be involved.
They're not. They're not signing deals. Mm-hmm. They're not signing deals at all.
Sure does seem like school involvement of some sort.
They can do. They are doing just like schools do for players all the time. Hey, we're gonna shoot this cute little video. We're gonna put it up on our social, and the social media teams go out and there was a whole. I was watching FSU Duquesne on Saturday night. They did. I'm not even kidding. Like a solid 8 minutes on is a boneless buffalo wing a wing or a chicken nugget, right? And
it's a nugget, by the way.
We will bring that up. FSU had their social media team go out there and like get answers from all the players at practice, and they made this whole production out of it, right? It's that they're already doing this. It's just that it's always been FSU that's prospered. Now the players get a cut of that too, and South Carolina still prospers. Masterstroke, man. Beautiful. Hour number 2 just around the corner. Is a boneless wing a wing or a chicken nugget? Get your answers in now, and we'll discuss it when we come back on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate.
Looking at the picture. You may not want to watch what I sent you on Twitter, though. The trailer just premiered for a certain movie. Dude, there's this one particular scene that I saw. It's like, I mean, it's all twisted, but still.
The beloved childhood characters. Eeyore RIP. What the hell?
Apparently the premise is this is all Christopher Robin's fault.
So
Wait. Have you seen the pool scene yet?
I'm watching the hot tub scene right now.
No, pool scene.
Okay.
Hot tub scene. We've seen pictures from that.
Yeah.
So you'll know it's quick.
Okay, here's the pool scene.
Exactly. Exactly. I saw that. I was like, no.
Oh my God! That is Game of Thrones stuff, dude. So are they animals or people in animal suits?
I think it's the actual animals because they basically say, when Christopher Robin left them alone.
Blood and honey.
Yes.
I'm done. I'm done with you, Twitter. I'm done with you, Twitter. I'm out.
So the new trailer for the movie that we've talked about before, which is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, is out. He and I both have watched it without actually listening to it, so I don't know what it says on it, but it's brutal. He probably won't watch it, but I will for show purposes. I need to see if it's going to be in theaters or just on stream. Because if it's just on stream, maybe we get him to actually watch it. I need to find out if that's on stream or if it's in theaters.
Look. They have built a penalty kick soccer dummy that the robots jump up in the air to simulate the line. That's amazing.
Yeah, I guess it helps. So,
Yeah, 100% it helps.
except the robots just do this. It's like whack-a-mole. Yes, Lab for Science, of course.
Everything's for science.
Well, I like to review the latest in streaming and things like that, which is why I will watch a certain show that I don't want to watch, just so, again, I can slam it, but I'm going to watch it. Andor.
I'm very excited about it. You should be too.
I haven't watched House of the Dragon.
That's so good.
Yeah, people said that about
It's so good.
about the other thing, and it wasn't that good.
What,
But
Game of Thrones?
yeah, it was.
Game of
not.
Thrones was amazing until it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It was amazing until season 6. Then it was okay, and then season 7 was bad, and then season 8 was an embarrassment.
Because T2 watched an episode, reviewed it last week, and there's been 2 episodes, and it's almost broke the internet twice of House of the Dragon.
Oh, it's so good.
So I'll probably watch it at some point this week.
You know why? They got back to what Game of Thrones. They got back to the game of Game of Thrones. It wasn't just all these characters making stupid decisions for the sake of action.
So we're a little early because I wasn't paying attention.
It's House of Cards with dragons.
Well, I ain't watching House of Cards either.
House of Cards was great. Great.
Tell that to the actors working on House of Cards.
I didn't say what's his face was great. I said
yeah.
the show was great.
Okay.
All right.
You know it's awesome when you do that. So on the on the podcast, it's just you doing that because there's no music on it. So
I always forget until I have to go back and listen to them. Then I'm like, oh, I sound like an idiot. Welcome back, y'all. The Rob Brown Show's on your radio. Hour numero dos starts right now. Rob Alonso and you. It's week 1, baby. College football just around the corner, y'all. Texter said, fan, you said USC did it first. I thought South Carolina was doing this first. But a good one. Because I didn't say you of SC. Get it? Get it?
I don't get it.
So Florida State played Duquesne this weekend. 47-7 your final. But I was watching the replay of it last night because it was 11:30 and that's what was on. It was that or another episode of The Office. Don't get me wrong, I am very much pro The Office. But like, even as my comfort show, like I've watched a lot of The Office. So I had to take a break. So I'm watching replay of FSU Duquesne because that's the game that whatever network I was watching on was replaying. And in the third quarter, it's like, it's I think it's 40-7 FSU at this point. And, you know, when you get into a spot where you're in a blowout like that, where one team is clearly outclassed, where one team is just running the score up, as a broadcaster, you've got to be compelling to get people to stick around, right? Hey, we know this one's out of hand. We know this team can't do anything. We know this team is outgunned, outmanned, outclassed. And we know there's no hope for a comeback here. So we're going to come up with other ways to entertain you. Well, the broadcasters in this particular game pulled a video off of the FSU football Twitter feed. And the video was a debate amongst the team. And it's one that's been had on Twitter many, many times. Is a boneless wing a wing, or is it a chicken nugget? And I kind of got a laugh out of it because I'm watching this game. The lady friend's getting ready for bed. You know, she's going through her bedtime routine, and I got this game on in the bedroom. And she goes, is there nothing else to talk about in this game? They've been talking about boneless wings for like 7 minutes. And I'm like, babe, the score's 40-7 and FSU's got the ball. No, there's nothing else to talk about in this game, right? These guys went on for 7 minutes. But it was spurred on by a video where they asked the team in practice. And these boys in practice were about ready to throw hands over this topic, right? You had some players who went, yeah, it's a chicken nugget, man. Like, there's no shame in that. Chicken nuggets are good. It's a chicken nugget. You take the bone out. You process the meat, right? Like, if it doesn't have a bone in it, it's not a wing. It's just processed chicken meat.
All right. A chicken nugget is a food product consisting of a small piece of deboned chicken meat that is breaded or battered, then deep fried or baked, invented in the 1950s. So, to me, if it is a boneless chicken wing, you're actually pulling the bones out of it and then taking that meat and do that and make that into your boneless chicken wing. It don't look like that. It looks like a chicken nugget, doesn't it?
It does. And so that was actually the argument for one of the guys in the broadcast booth. They were like, look, just because you took the bone out of it doesn't mean it's not a wing, right? Just because it's still a wing, even if it doesn't have a bone in it. Removing a part of something doesn't make that thing not a thing. If you take the motor out of a car, it's still a car. Not a useful one, but it's still a car. If you take the walls out of a house, it's still a house. A weird one, but it's still a house, right?
All right. According to the first thing that popped up on Google, so it's got to be the right thing. Boneless wings typically are formed from breast meat and are a spinoff of the breaded chicken nugget.
Right. And that's what one of the guys argued, and I did not know if it was true or not. One of the guy argued, he's like, you know, it's still wing. It's still wing meat. Like, you're just taking you're just taking the bone out of the wing, but you still use the wing. And I'm like, I don't think that's true, man. I don't think that's true. I think it's traditionally breast or thigh meat.
And here's what I believe the reason is that people don't want to call it a nugget, because some people believe that nuggets are only for children, and so they don't want to be associated with something that's only in their mind for children. Well, I would never eat a chicken nugget, but a boneless wing, yeah, I'm good for that.
I mean,
it's just a chicken nugget.
I'm pretty sure you're right. Like, I'm pretty sure that you're right.
You know what I'm guessing? I'm guessing the show for men would say they absolutely that boneless wings are not nuggets.
Diesel is 100% anti-nugget guy.
He is.
Ain't a doubt in my brain. Diesel's 100% anti-nugget guy.
I would say Mark used to be, but maybe his perspective has changed. So we'll see.
I would say Mark's probably and I'll tell you what, I'm in the camp of I don't care. If I like it, I eat it.
You know what's good in the air fryer? A chicken nugget. You know what's also good in the air fryer?
Wings.
Yeah. So
Wings.
And boneless.
And
I'm
boneless
guessing.
wings.
Yeah.
So here, but here's what I'm driving at, right? Because we got folks in the chat, on the stream, and on the text line 71307. Start your text with FAN FAN. We'll read them on the air. Popping off on this. Here's what I'm kind of driving at, to piggyback onto the segment we did to close out the last hour. The broadcasters did this for 7 minutes. FSU put this video of the boys at practice ready to throw hands with each other over this topic. We're getting reaction on this on social media, on the text line. It's a stupid conversation, but it's one that people are like, yeah, I know this is dumb, but I have an opinion. And you're going to listen to it, right? So FSU puts this up on their Twitter feed. They get, I don't know how many impressions, but a lot. They got enough impressions that the folks at Network X, whoever was carrying that game, were like, you know what? We can do something with this. It's got traction. We can do something with this. We can have fun with this while this game's out of hand. We can enjoy this while this game's out of hand. Florida State took advantage of that, got themselves eyeballs on their product. The network ran it, got eyeballs on the product. There have been, I guarantee, there has been a nearly countless number of radio broadcast professionals of markets of all sizes from Monday till today that have brought this up on their show. Hey, guys, I was watching Duquesne, Florida State, and they had a debate over, is a boneless wing a nugget or a wing? Let's talk about it. And I did it, too, to prove a point. The point is
that people love to comment on food, and anytime we bring up food, the text line goes crazy.
And the second point is FSU used it for views and traction and content, right? The network used it for views and content and traction. Radio show hosts around the country have used it for views and content and traction. And we're all okay with that. We're all good with that. Of course I am. It's a stupid conversation, like 85% of what we do on this show. It's a stupid conversation that's fun to have. It's just funny. It's just goofy. And the only group of people in the past who would not have been allowed to use that video for content and interaction and traction, and all of that translates to what? Dollars, money, eyes on to make dollars off of it. The only group that wouldn't have been allowed to use it was the people who generated the content, was the players, right? FSU used their social media team. They have got folks that work for the university who get paid to take resources, cameras, microphones, editing software, very expensive computers, Take the cameras out and film it. Take the mics out and record it. Bring it back to FSU. Upload it to a computer. Use editing software to edit it down. Use graphics software to build a package around it. And then put it up on the internet just so people will follow them, pay attention to them, and then they can turn around. And once you get it's monetization. Once their football program hits X amount of viewers or followers or whatever, they can charge people to advertise on it. They can make money. Up until recently, the one group that couldn't do that was the folks that they were utilizing to generate the content, the players. South Carolina went, yo, hold up. Wait a second here. Let me think about this. We're already generating all of this content, right? We're already generating it. Every time that you go to a Gamecock football game, before the game starts, what happens? You look up at the Jumbotron, and they got these killer graphics packages with the colors and the lights and the flashes, and it's all synced to music. And they do that cool shot, Lonzo, of the Gamecock football player in all black, and he's got his hands on the inside of his shoulder pads, and then they show him, and he's swagged out. And then they go to the players, and they're like, Gamecock fans, it's game day! Get up! Get lit! They do all that, right? They're already producing great content to attract the eyeballs of South Carolina fans. How many Gamecock hype videos did we see go around Twitter this offseason? About 11, right? They're already generating all of this content. They're already making it. They've got guys and gals on staff who get paid money to generate this. So South Carolina went, hold up. Let's think about this. We're already making this content. We're already making commercials. It's just for us, right? To hype us. We're making commercials. We got the equipment. We got the talent. We got the people. We got the software. We have everything that we need to in-house produce commercials, spots, advertisements, whatever you want to call it. We've got all the tools. What if, instead of just using those resources to help ourselves, what if instead of just using those resources to make us look good, what if we gave athletes access to those resources to pimp themselves, right? What if we gave them access to those resources so that they can go to companies as small as Jane's Diner or Bob's Used Cars, or companies as large as Coke or Dr. Pepper or whoever. And they can go, hey, if you sign me to an NIL deal, I can pump out an ad a week professionally. I got professionals that work for me. You don't even have to worry about that. You tell me what you want me to say, what you want it to look like, and we'll do that end of it. Right? Folks like Dr. Pepper have an entire staff of people whose only job is to crank out advertising. To write it, to produce it, to film it, to edit it, to get it out there. Jane's Diner and Bob's Used Car Sales, they ain't got that, right? They don't have that. In fact, most of those companies, they got to pay out. They got to go get somebody to do all that, right? They got to go to a marketing company and go, hey, we want to put this out there. We want this to be our message. And they got to pay somebody else to write it and script it and film it and record it and edit it and distribute it and get it playtime and buy the playtime to play it. South Carolina is doing half that work for you now. So if you're an athlete, this is a massive asset. If you were an athlete, especially if you were an athlete who is going to be making their decision and making NIL either a large part or the main part of their decision to sign somewhere, right? All right, if I go to this school, they got the best broadcasting school. If I go to this school, they got the best journalism school. If I go to this school, they're paying out the most in NIL. if that is your priority, if you decide to go to a school based on that, South Carolina just became way more attractive. I mean, way more attractive, right? Because you have resources there that ain't nobody else in the country got. Now, it won't be that way for long. I can go ahead and tell you, I can go ahead and guarantee you right now, that another school is going to prop one of these up in the next handful of months. On campuses around the country right now, athletic directors have set up task forces to create what South Carolina just created, but on their campus. In offices and conference rooms around the country, there are professional, I'm talking pros, who are getting all the details they can get about the contract that SC just signed with this marketing firm out of Greenville, trying to figure out how they built it, what comes along with it, what benefits come with it, the price, the length of contract, the guarantee that they'll only work with your school and not with another conference or state school, etc. There are folks around the country who are putting this together because it's a brilliant strategy. It's an absolute brilliant strategy. No doubt about it. Because again, if you're an athlete and you're forming where you're going to go based on NIL as a priority for you, South Carolina has just given you a bundle of resources that make you way more attractive, right? If you're a South Carolina business, let me say this and then I'll get out of the way because Lonzo's got something to say and I want to hear it. If you're an athlete deciding between Clemson and South Carolina, and let's say you're not super concerned about success on the field because that would make the choice easy right now, but you're picking between those two schools. And NIL's a priority. Let's say you come from a disadvantaged situation. Your family doesn't have a lot of money, right? Mom's living in a one-bedroom, one-bathroom apartment that you just moved out of to go to school. And South Carolina says, or Clemson says, we got NIL money over here. And South Carolina goes, we got NIL money too, but we also have effectively a marketing agency that works for you to put your name out there, to put you in videos and radio spots that will help advertise you to potential NIL clients. One of those looks more attractive to you than the other.
Is it illegal to have an agent coming out of high school going into college? Because how are these kids supposed to figure out what's the best NIL deal?
You may have NIL representation. You may have somebody who walks you through this.
So an agent.
If you want to call it that, sure. Yeah.
Okay. So again, this is pro football. It's not. Quit. If you are a purist, quit saying it's college football and it's all that, because it's pro football. So you technically, in essence, can have an agent. You can have an agency lining up money for you. So it's pro football. That's what it is.
No, it's still amateur football.
No, it's not. It is not. It is not. You're getting paid for your services all the way around. Yes, you are. You are. You absolutely are.
You are getting paid. It literally is name, image, and likeness.
So I tried to hold back on this argument because the argument has never won between you and I about this, but they are getting paid for services.
No, they're not.
That's when you're getting paid for services.
Not football.
That means you are a paid employee. It absolutely does.
It's not football.
Yeah.
It's not football. Am I a paid employee of Harley Davidson of Greenville?
You would not get that if you didn't work on the radio, just like they would not get that if they didn't work.
I agree.
Where they didn't work for a football team, they wouldn't get it.
I agree. But that doesn't make me a paid employee of them.
You just agreed they work for a football team.
Yeah, no, I've said that for a while.
Okay, so what I'm saying is they're just paid employees. So, I mean, that's fine. Quit pretending like college football is something other than the NFL because it's just the NFL.
Keegan just said, this makes me really want to look into becoming an NIL content creator. Advice?
Yeah, go ahead, do it.
You absolutely should.
Do it. I mean, because
you absolutely should, Keegan. And you should be reaching. I'm not even kidding.
Anything goes, apparently. So, I mean, go for it.
You should be reaching out to Everett Sports Management, to the university. You should be reaching out and attempting to offer your services as a content creator. I'm dead serious. This is a huge opportunity for you too. But you should absolutely be reaching out and offering your services as a content creator because this is a massive opportunity for the kids, for content creators, for the universities. Massive.
May I suggest, Keegan, that you get yourself a fine general T-shirt like what I'm wearing, and head on down to Columbia and make your case for how they should want you.
Keegan, you should send Lonzo that. Keegan made a Cot Commander T-shirt, and it's incredible. It's incredible.
I'm surprised you're not wearing it yet.
Only because he hasn't printed it. The day he prints one, I'm buying one off of him because it's incredible. I'll show it to you during the break. It's incredible. All right. Let's take a break. We'll get away from this discussion when we come back here in just a minute from right now.
Real quick.
Yeah.
I don't recall you saying whether a bone swing is a chicken nugget or not. I just need some clarification
is.
there.
It
Okay.
absolutely
All
is.
right. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Just wanted to bring it full circle back
Listen,
to where it
and
began.
for the record, I order boneless wings as often as I order regular wings. It's just a mood I'm in, right? It's just a mood I'm in. If I'm ordering at lunch, like if I'm at work and I want wings for lunch, I go boneless. Fork and knife. It's easier to keep clean. I'm not gonna drop it on my shirt before I got a meeting. If it's nighttime and I'm at a bar watching a football game, I go bone in. But it absolutely is a chicken nugget. And there's nothing wrong with that.
All right. Keegan just sent me the picture.
It's good, right?
Well done.
Yeah.
It would be frowned upon by some people because of the weapon of choice,
Good,
but yeah, it looks good.
It's good though.
People would love it around here.
I already want one. Let's take a break. When we come back here in just a minute, we got some college football stuff. But up next, your guide to gambling on college football. I'm going to teach you how lines work, parlays work, spreads work. I'm going to set it all up for you. And then we got another round of suggestions for the Boo Box bets. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate.
Prisma.
All right, stream. Be right back. Don't go anywhere.
So, have you ever been somewhere where you know you're going to ask someone a question they've never asked before, but you do it just to see how they will react? Which is kind of me on the radio every day. So I was in WORD yesterday, and Charlie James was in there, and just out of the blue, I just looked at Charlie and said, "You ever been in a half pipe, Charlie?"
A half pipe?
Yes. And it caught him for a second. He's like, "No, Lonzo, I have not." Then he talked about how back in the day, what the skateboards looked like for him, which was for me too, the little skinny fiberglass things. Because I think T2 was talking about being sore or something, and he still will jump into the half pipe on occasion at his age.
0% shocked by that out of T2. He is a bro.
I never would have. Well, no, I take that back. I would have tried a half pipe once.
Nope, not me.
I was more of a speed guy than I was tricks. I just had to share it with someone because the only people who saw it were me and Tim. It's just, which Charlie's hilarious. He does a ton of voices and things like that, but just the look on his face like, okay.
Ever been in a half pipe, Charlie?
It wasn't
Sounds like a-
wasn't an airplane delivery. No, it wasn't.
like a
Do you like
Brad
old
Pitt line out
gladiator
of a
movies? You ever been in a cockpit before? No, it wasn't like that. I asked him the question, believing that he would say yes. I was a little disappointed. Because I think when people see someone who's older and kind of distinguished, that they don't believe that they actually have had an interesting life.
That they were ever cool.
Which he's had an interesting life. So, I mean, me, I was just as boring, when I was. No, I wasn't.
May you live in interesting times.
I am a survivor.
I'm a survivor.
He doesn't know the next line either.
I'm going to work harder. I know like 6 random lines, but not the next one.
I know the music is excellent. I just don't know the words.
So, let's talk how football lines work, right? Because I've had a bunch of you guys ask, and as the resident sports gambling expert on the network, I feel inclined to talk about it. And considering Lonzo's got some punishments on the line coming up, potentially, I feel like he should go into this with some knowledge.
I could go undefeated with the knowledge that I'm about to gain now.
Maybe. I'm here for you if you do.
Will he teach me all? Probably not.
What's the phrase? I taught you everything you know, but not everything I know.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at a game this weekend. How do you feel about I don't know, Zach, how you feel about let's just do Oregon, Georgia. That's a top 10 matchup, right? Well, you're going to notice if you look at the gambling lines that Georgia is listed as minus 17 on the line and a minus 975 favorite. Okay? So the plus minus is called the money line. The money line is just what happens to your money if you pick the game outright, right? Minus 975 means that if you bet $100, if you bet $975 on Georgia and they win outright, you win $100. Right? Now, money lines are different than a spread. With the money line, you are just betting on the team to win or lose. Points are irrelevant. Do they win? Do they lose? Doesn't matter if it's regulation, overtime. It just matters, do they win or do they lose? If a team has a minus sign in front of their money line number, like Georgia minus 975, what that means is you have to bet that much to win $100 back, right? So if you want to bet Georgia, if you believe Georgia wins this game outright, as I think most of us do, you have to bet $975 to win 100 back. Why would they set it up that way? Well, Georgia is going to win this football game, right? Going to win this football game. There's no doubt about it. So basically, what Vegas is doing here is setting a line that makes you put so much on the line in order to win that if Oregon somehow goes miracle on turf and wins this game and beats Georgia, you are going to eat a substantial loss as the punishment for losing a bet that was so heavily favored. Oregon, on the other hand, has a plus next to their money line number. Their plus is plus 610. Plus 610. What that means is that if you bet $100 on Oregon and they do win this game, you will earn $610 back on top of getting your hundo back, right? Now, why would they set that line that high? Because they want you to take the risk, right? You're looking at this and you're going, no way Oregon wins this game. No way. But it's sports. Crazy things happen all the time in sports. That's why we love them, right? So what Vegas is trying to entice you to do at plus 610 here is go, yeah, Oregon's not going to win this game, but if they do, if you bet $10, you get $61 back. If you bet $100, you get $610 back. For every dollar that you bet, you're getting $6.10 back effectively, right? So Vegas is looking at this and they're going, all right, no chance that Oregon wins this game. But if they do, if they pull it together, if they figure out a way and they win this game, you're going to make back 6 times the amount that you bet. So basically, they're trying to bait you into taking this bet on the off chance that, you can bet just a little bit and get a massive payoff back. A massive payoff if the upset occurs. So when you're looking at those numbers, you're looking for upsets if you're taking the plus money. As an upset, Vegas terms. And you're trying to pick the upsets because you're going to get a bigger payback back. If you're picking favorites, you have to bet more money to win less. So for Georgia, you got to bet $975 to get back $100. Or if you want to scale that down to what more of us are likely to bet, you got to bet $97.50 to get $10 back. That's what that line is. Now, Lonzo and I are going to be picking our games against the spread. So let's stick with that same game. Georgia is minus 17 on the spread. Oregon is obviously plus 17 on the spread. Georgia's minus 110 at minus 17. When a team has a minus out in front of their name, it means they are the heavy favorite, or they are the favorite in Vegas's eyes. Plus minus is easy. If they have a minus out next to their name, you take the final score of the game and you minus those points. So if Georgia scores 40 points in this game, at the end of the game, we will take away 17 points. Minus 17. You will take away 17 points, which brings them to 27 points. Do they still win the game? Right? Do they still win the game? So if the final score is 40-24, Georgia wins, right? You minus the 17, it takes them down to 27. Oregon scored 24. Georgia still won the bet. On the flip side, it's the plus number for the underdog. Plus 17 is Oregon, which means that you do the opposite. At the end of the day, when the score goes final, we will add 17 points to Oregon's score. So if the final score is 40-27, let's do even numbers. Let's say the final score is 40-30, right? We would take Oregon's score and we would add 17. That makes it 47-40 in favor of Oregon. They beat the spread. They lost by fewer points than they were expected to lose by. So we'll take a look at another game for the example. Let's look at North Carolina is playing Appalachian State. How about this line? This one's a little shocking to me. On the money line, Lonzo, Appalachian State is plus 100. We call that even money. You bet 100 to win 100. So if you bet on Appy State to win this game outright, and you bet $100 and Appalachian State upsets North Carolina, if you bet $10, you get $10. If you bet $1, you get $1. If you bet $1,000, you get $1,000. It's even money at plus 100. North Carolina is minus 121. That means you got to bet $121 to win 100 back. So if you bet on North Carolina outright to win the game, you got to bet $121 to win 100 back. But let's look at the spread, because the spread on this game is very interesting. North Carolina is minus 1.5. 1.5. One in the hook is what you'll hear gamblers say. It's one in the hook. 1.5. With the Georgia-Oregon score, it was an even 17, right? What's that mean? It means if the final score is 40-37, it's exactly 17, which was the spread. Nobody wins. You just get your bet back. There's no winner. There's no loser. When a casino sticks a 0.5 out there, somebody's winning, somebody's losing. So North Carolina minus 1.5, which means whatever the final score is, we take a 1.5 away from North Carolina. Do they still win the game? Right? So if your final score in this game is 24-21, North Carolina wins 24-21. We take a 1.5 away from North Carolina. That makes it 22.5-21. North Carolina still wins. If your final score is, let's say, 22-20, North Carolina wins 22-20. You take 1.5 away from North Carolina. So instead of 22, they have
21.5.
20.5. You're taking a full point and a half away.
My bad.
Taking the full point and a half away.
Math is hard.
Yeah, math sucks. That's the one thing I hate about gambling is doing math in my head. If North Carolina wins 22-20, we take a 1.5 away. North Carolina's final score is 20.5. 20.5 wins over 20. North Carolina wins the bet. If the final score is 21 Tar Heels, Mountaineers 20. 21-20, North Carolina beats Appalachian State by a point. Well, we take the 1.5 away because they are minus 1.5. So if they win 21-20, we'd take a 1.5 away. The final score is now Appalachian State 20, North Carolina 19.5. Appalachian State has won the game after you remove the points. That is called covering the spread. So when we pick our games, and this game,
I just want to point out, I don't think you explained it this way last year.
I absolutely did. This is how it works.
I don't recall you explaining it this way.
Does this make more sense?
I think you simplified for my benefit, probably. Yes. This makes more sense.
So for us, we're not picking money line. We're picking spread, right?
Right.
Now, you're going to see some games that are pick 'em games. They're plus 100 and there is no spread. In that game, you're just outright picking who wins. But for us picking against the spread, and Friday, we will pick 10 college football games against the spread. When we pick against the spread, the team is either going to have a plus or a minus next to a score, next to a point value on their name. If North Carolina, let's say, I'll pick up one more just for fun. Let's see if we can find a good one here. How about, here you go. New Mexico State is at Minnesota. Let's go Big Ten. The Golden Gophers, eh? In this one, Lonzo, Minnesota is minus 36.5 on the spread. 36.5, minus 36.5. That means whatever the final score is, you are going to take 36.5 points away from Minnesota. So if the final score, that's a big number, right?
That is a big number.
That's a big number. But this is where it gets interesting because Minnesota's obviously going to win that game. So if the final score is, let's say, Minnesota 50 and New Mexico State 14. Well, you would take Minnesota's 50. You take away 36.5 points. That gives them a final score of 13.5. New Mexico State scored 14. Their number is bigger after you take the 36.5 away from Minnesota's final score, which means that New Mexico State covered the spread, even if it's only by half a point.
All right, I'm worried now that I'm going to overthink this.
Welcome to gambling, baby.
Wow.
Welcome to every Saturday of my life.
Yeah, but I don't want to know what's going in the boo box for me.
We are going to shape up our boo box suggestions to finish them off tomorrow. Actually, we can take them Friday, too. The boo box punishment doesn't come out till Monday. So, 71307, sorry, text with fan. Send us your boo box punishment suggestions that Lonzo and I will have to do if we lose, picking against the spread against each other. Let's take a break. My name is Rob Brown. He is the great one. Lonzo, you're listening to The Fan Upstate.
So if by some chance that I horribly lose and pick out the stupid man bun thing, I have a problem.
And that is?
I don't know how to put it.
I
don't know how to do a man bun, and I'm not sure there's anyone in the building who would.
YouTube, baby. YouTube.
Thank you, Keegan.
Our lovely
Thank you.
listeners will have zero problem finding you the videos to watch.
Just because I watch a video doesn't mean I can do it.
We believe in you, Lonzo.
Well, I just don't plan on losing, so I don't have to worry about it. I may have to see if someone knows a guy that could help me out.
Somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. What did I do last year? That last year was so bad.
It wasn't like this?
Was it just vague?
Yeah, it was. I didn't get it. This I got completely.
Well, that's my bad then. Sorry.
Hey, turn the stream off for just a moment. I have to ask you a question.
Oh, we have secret stream BRB.
All right, I have now brought us back from the top secret meeting.
It was a good one, you guys.
We was formulating and stuff. Yeah.
100%.
Beth. I mean, that was a dummy's guide to how to betting lines, and I mean, it was really good.
Texter said, Rob, what if you only bet $50? Cut it in half. Take whatever I said and then do half of that. That's what. I'm not doing your homework for you. I mean, I did. I just did an entire segment on how to gamble on football for you. For entertainment purposes only, of course.
No, what that was all about was him simplifying to a degree where I can actually say I understand. So when I get my butt handed to me every week, he can say, you understood it. You knew how to do it. I showed you how. That's on you now.
I mean, I felt like that was explained about as simply as it's possibly explained, to be honest with you. I don't know how else I don't know what, let me put it this way. I don't know what I did last year, right? Because Lonzo and Keegan
It wasn't that.
both said that this made a lot more sense than my explanation did last year. So I'm not sure. You know, look, we learn, we grow, we get better, we evolve as broadcasters, and let's be real. A year ago, Rob sucked at this job. The shows were terrible a year ago. They were convoluted. They were over the top. They were dramatic. The show last year was just atrocious. This year, evolved Rob Brown, different level, man. Different caliber. Just better.
Well, everything he just said is a lie because I was on those shows. So how could it have been that bad?
I like it. All right, coming up in the third, the final, the best hour of the show. I got a couple of things to get into. First off, speaking of, I'm going to tell you where the money's coming in for the week one games, for the conference championships, for the playoff games, and the national championship. That's interesting. We are going to talk a little bit about Carolina's Final 53. That has been picked. We talked yesterday about the fact that the Carolina Panthers have added another wide receiver to the mix. We're going to break down what that means because I thought about it a lot, and I'm like, kind of interesting pick here. We'll break that down. The summer transfer window is coming to a close. Looks like Christian Pulisic's going to stay at Chelsea. We'll talk about that. And you know what we haven't even talked about? It's NASCAR playoff time. We'll set the format and your combatants. All of that coming up next on the Rob Brown Show with the Fan Upstate. Literally, as you were telling me that, I got a friend request from the individual we were discussing.
That's good.
I met him at the Rise Guys remote that day. Super nice guy.
Yeah.
He showed up. Actually, hang on, stream. I'll be right back. Toes are stupid.
He's offering to have Charlie Haas to call in too. You remember Charlie Haas?
Don't.
So they can talk trash to each other.
Let them have promos on the air?
Yes.
I like it. Let's see.
I told him we like that.
Oh, the Island Boys. Okay.
You know Haas. If you,
He was on Team Angle.
yes.
That's right.
I was gonna say
Okay.
the best,
Yep.
best tag team in the
Yep,
world with
yep.
Shelton Benjamin, I believe.
He beat Eddie and Chavo.
Bob Burke. Bob Burke. My name is Bob Burke. So I did something really old man last night. So we have a lot of loose change that's like in piggy banks and stuff,
Yep.
and we got some of them there wrappers. And my wife found the thing. There are different size tubes that you can buy that you put the wrappers in, the coin wrappers in there, and you just count the amount, and then you can seal them up. Did like $50-something last night, and not even close to being done. It's like, you know what? I could buy me some stuff with this. Of course, she'll have to take it to the bank, but you know. Stinking math.
The final, the best of money hour of the Rob Brown Show goes now. That didn't feel right. Money. There we go. I got to get in the groove, man. The Rob Brown Show's back on your radio.
It's my fault. I had the music too loud and it threw you off. I apologize. I'll do better next time. Tomorrow, it'll be flawless.
Me. All right. Let's get to it. Got a lot of stuff
You know,
to
there
get
comes
into.
a time in everyone's life where they go through a change and their voice kind of changes a
Shut
little
up,
bit.
Lonzo. Shut up, Lonzo. The worst. All right. Hey, let's do this. Jim Harborough has named his starter plural, multiple starters. Michigan is going through an interesting time. Sniped Ohio State last year for the first time in what, Lonzo? A decade, I believe?
Yeah, I don't recall.
I guess 10 years, wasn't it?
I don't recall.
Did you just bleach that from your memory?
I don't recall.
Depends on what your definition of the word rivalry is. We did not lose to that team, Michigan Wolverines.
You sound more like W than you do.
I know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know. Texas. All right. Anyway. Yes, I believe it was like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 straight. 8 straight since the last time Michigan, who, by the way, for Lonzo's sake, the Wolverines do lead the overall series 59, 51, and 6.
Yeah, they're blue blood, man. They've been around forever.
Yeah.
But we're gaining.
Michigan won Michigan won the first. Well, of the first 15 games, Michigan won 13. The other two were ties. It was year 16 before Ohio State snagged a win. They won 3 in a row, and it's been pretty back and forth, but relatively cyclical since then. Anyway, I'm not bringing that up to go into the depths of the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry.
Yeah, because Clemson fans don't like it when you talk Ohio State because then you think of a certain coach that, threw a punch, and it's still bothering them to this day.
Michigan brought back Cade McNamara, last year's starter for the Wolverines. But they added J.J. McCarthy to the roster. Michigan has had a QB competition between Cade McNamara and J.J. McCarthy all offseason long. And the battle has been won, Lonzo, by both of them. But it's been won by both the quarterback battle was won by both quarterbacks. So
there's no I in team, Rob.
There's no we in team either. For the record, there's no us in team. There is a me, though. All right, anyway. In a statement earlier this week, Harbaugh said McNamara will open the season against Colorado State, and McCarthy will start game 2 against Hawaii, and they will use those 2 games to reach a decision on the permanent quarterback. Harbaugh said, quote, both quarterbacks have played great, done everything they could have, and in every way to win the starting job. Coming out of camp, I just feel like we have 2 quarterbacks, Cade McNamara and J.J. McCarthy, that we feel very confident that we can win a championship with either of those 2 behind center, end quote.
Meanwhile, down in Columbus, you can hear laughter.
Just what? What? Jim? What? Come on, guy. Pick a guy, man. As a team, don't tell me this doesn't have an... As a wide receiver, as a running back, don't tell me this doesn't have an impact, because I feel like I've got to prep for 2 different game plans, right? And maybe they run the exact same offense, but the timing is going to be different. The execution is going to be different. The way that guy number 1 hands the ball off to me as a running back is going to be different than the way guy number 2 hands it off. And I got to be great at both of those. As a wide receiver, the way that one quarterback works and trust me is different than another, right? One quarterback might have the mentality of, I trust this wide receiver explicitly to be where the ball's going to be. And the other might go, no, I read the wide receiver and make my throw based on where he's going to be. And I got to get ready for both of those. What a mess, dude. What a mess. But don't worry, Desmond Howard picked Michigan to be in the playoffs, so I'm sure that's fine. I don't get it, man. What are you doing, Jim? Now, Jim went on to say, when he was asked about this situation, Jim went on to say that he took a biblical approach to picking a quarterback. Now, I got no problem with your faith dictating the way you live your life. But man, if I'm a Michigan fan, pick a quarterback, Jim. He said that he went through. He based his decision on the story of King Solomon and the baby, right? Which is a parable in the Bible where 2 women both go to King Solomon to say, I'm the mom of this baby, but she won't let me have the baby. And King Solomon goes, I'll tell you what, we'll split the baby in half, and you can both have a half of the baby. And one woman goes, no, don't do that. I'd rather the baby be alive with her than you kill the baby and give me half of it. And King Solomon says, well, clearly this one's the mom. Which, do you need to be the mom to be like, maybe don't cut a baby in half? But it's a parable. It's a story. It's a metaphor.
I knew you couldn't get through it without criticizing it in some way.
No. The point is, it's a metaphor. And here's the point. Did Cade or JJ go, no, coach? No. I'd rather we have one quarterback and he be the starter.
Yeah,
and
they're
then
not-
Jim's like, no. The point of the story was that he used his mind and he thought to a conclusion that would give him the correct answer. That's not what you did, Jim. You just said, I don't want to make a decision. That's the opposite of what you said you're doing. I can't have my coach acting like that, man.
No, he still thinks he's in the NFL in this preseason. So he's starting one guy for one preseason game and the other guy for the other one. That's what he's doing. You know, when you said 2 starters, I was thinking, okay, both of them are playing in the same game. I didn't
Nope.
realize it was for separate games.
Yep. Starter in week 1, different starter week 2.
This is unprecedented on purpose, I think. What I mean is, this is the first time I've ever heard someone doing this intentionally. Not, well, that guy was horrible. We're just going to put another guy in there the next game. But so even if the first guy comes out and just tears it up, the other guy's playing in game 2.
I don't know, man. I don't get it, right? Like, what if, you're exactly right. What happens if Cade McNamara goes out there and he goes 24 of 28 for 530 yards and 7 touchdowns? Nope, sorry. Got that big game against Hawaii next week. I can't trust you. Or what happens, Lonzo, if in game 1, McNamara goes 24 of 28 for 530 and 7 touches, and then in game 2, McCarthy goes 24 of 28 for 530 and 7 touches? Now what? We're just going to rotate quarterback? Jim, come on, man. Come on, khakis. Get it together. Jake from Michigan.
I don't know. You know, on the sideline, his mouth just stays open the entire time. Something flew in there and affected his thinking, possibly.
I don't get it, dude. Name a starter. Give me a quarter. Let your guys build around a quarterback. If it's Cade, it's Cade. If it's JJ, it's JJ. And I get part of it. Here's part of it. Jim doesn't want to take his starter from last season and be like, hey, dude, you're not the starter anymore, right? He doesn't want to take the starter and say, you're not the starter anymore. But also, this J.J. McCarthy kid's pretty good, right? It's you know what I get? I get big Lincoln Riley at Nebraska with Spencer and Cade vibes out of this. Not Cade. Caleb vibes out of this.
What if Dabo looks at this and goes, that's a great idea. I'm going to start DJ this game and Cade this game.
Dabo wouldn't, because he knows that's bad for your football team.
What if all QB battles going forward will go with the Harbaugh method?
Alternating games until somebody does better.
Until somebody does better.
Yeah. And then JJ goes after a game and goes, Coach, I know I didn't go for 530 like Cade did, but I was having an off day. You got to trust me. You got to give me one more chance. Like, no, that's not how this works, dude. It's just not. Why? All right, there's that. But like I said, Desmond Howard's got Michigan in the playoffs with 2 quarterbacks. What did Bear say? If you got 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one? Pretty much spot on. Pretty much spot on.
I personally hope it goes really bad and he just can't figure it out. But that's just me and all Buckeye fans out there.
I know it's all Buckeye fans. As a guy with no dog in that fight, I hope that they put up identical Heisman caliber week 1 stat lines. I hope they both go. I mean, I hope the yardage is the same. I hope they both throw 7 touchdowns. I hope they both cross to, 525 yardage, 24, same completion percentage, same QBR, same stat line, top to bottom, up and down, left and right. I hope it's the exact same stat line, because I want to hear Harbaugh after week 2 when they go in the locker room for the presser and Jim from the Wolverine Daily goes, all right, coach, you've seen them both. They both did the exact same things to inferior opponents. Who's our starter week 3? And Jim's like, there's a scorpion and a frog in a river, right? So we're going to play them both.
And then he decides to go the old-fashioned way that you used to do in school when you were voting for someone. He's going to have the entire team put their heads down. All right, do you want him to be your starter? Raise your hand. No peeking. Whoever gets the most hands raised, that's your starting
He
quarterback.
pulls up a piece of paper and goes, okay, hey, what's your favorite color? Blue. B-L-U-E. What's a number? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, sorry, Cade. It says JJ starts next week. I don't know what to tell you. The folding paper 4-way foldy thingy said that JJ's starting next week.
That doesn't work. He'll go Magic 8 Ball. That doesn't work. He'll just ask Siri or Alexa. Hey, Siri.
Did you just look to make sure your phone's... It did.
It did.
Who should start week 1 for Michigan?
Who should start week 1 for the Michigan Wolverines?
1 sec. While there are 140 players on Michigan, you can also ask me about a specific player. or
Is your
position.
Siri Irish?
Quarterback, Al
Yeah, I told you I made her
I
Irish.
like it.
Yeah.
Declan
I
Ball.
like it.
Quarterback, Jaden Denigal.
I don't think he's available.
Athletics.
You know what? Because
I think she started telling every single player on the team, so I had to cut that off.
Because it entertains me. Who is Michigan's week 1 starter?
QB Cade McNamara, according to Detroit Free Press, Michigan.
There you go. Decisions
Wait.
made, Jim.
Is yours Irish also?
She's British.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
There you go. My Google just was more decisive than Harbro. My Hey Google routine just gave me a decision that the head coach of the Wolverines couldn't come up with.
All right, quick.
Spectacular.
Someone out there with Alexa, ask Alexa so we have all our bases covered.
100%. 100%. We got an indecisive response from Siri. Google said Cade McNamara. Let's see what Alexa has to say. And then while anybody's out there, if you happen to have access to the Georgia Aquarium, we should ask one of their beluga whales too. Maybe the beluga whale will have some input, right? Once we got a quarter over there, we can just flip a coin and see who the starter's going to be, which will be more decisive than the head coach.
I know you don't because you don't carry cash.
No, I do not. I hate having change in my pocket. I don't know why. I hate it.
I put all my coins in wrappers last night because old people, yeah.
Yeah. It's actually said with transfer portal, wait till after both have played in 4 games. Yeah. You go week 9 and Harbaugh's like, I think we're ready to name a starter, you guys. Coach, there's 3 games left and 1 is Buckeye U. Yeah, well, it's been a really good conversation. And I think you'll remember the story about the tortoise and the hare. Yeah, Coach, what's that got to do with it? Well, the tortoise was slow, but consistent. The rabbit was fast, but he took a nap. And that tells me 1 more week. 1 more week till we name a starter. Jim, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing? You finally have Michigan pointed in the right direction, and now you don't know how to name a starting quarterback. Hell, Matt Rule knows how to name a starting quarterback, my guy. Matt Rule did it better than you. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back here in just a second. We haven't done a lot of golf, right? Especially as we get closer to football season. I don't think you guys care as much as you did when it was Masters time or TPC time. But Rory McIlroy, a week after announcing his partnership with Tiger Woods and the PGA Tour to create this primetime golf league, Rory McIlroy just made it personal, dog. And I am here for it. Let's take a break. My name is Rob Brown. He's Alonzo. The Rob Brown Show's on your radio. It's the Fan Upstate. Baker! Dude, Riddle is shredded.
Yeah, and look at the other people in there. There's a couple.
Shinsuke hanging out in the background.
Looks like an intense dojo.
Sensei.
I got written instructions about the timesheet thing.
Good.
But not about the video. So, and apparently, a lot of people, like probably most people, don't know how to do the timesheet. It's not working for anybody. So, he gave me several different ways, and he's going to address the video thing in a producers meeting, which isn't until the end of the month. I looked at it wrong. So, I don't know, is it wrong to go into other people's folders and look and see how they did it? Because I think I have access to some of the other podcasts in that folder. Of course, I may look at their folders and they may all be empty too. So, at least the podcast itself is getting up. That's the most important thing. At least I think. Pleats. You care about pleats, Rob?
I'm anti-pleat.
Okay, all right.
I'm anti-pleat.
You know, maybe that's the real reason I have such disdain for khakis. I didn't even think about that. It could be Harbaugh. It's deep-seated in there. It could be.
It's got to be.
Allow me to psychoanalyze myself. I hate Michigan. The team, not the. I mean, I'm sure the state is okay. Maybe I don't ever want to go there, but. Yeah, O.J. Howard, that was kind of a surprise. That dude's going to be on the team pretty quick, though. I think he's already trying out for somebody.
I'm sure.
I saw it earlier. I forget what team it was. Wait a minute, the Saints traded someone?
Shut up, Lonzo. I'm still hurt. You know what I didn't do was bring one of my Panther shirts to cut up. I'll just have to wear this. It is what it is.
Hey, don't know how to do the video thing yet.
Oh, so it doesn't matter.
So until I mean, I know how to grab it and cut it. I just don't know what to do with it afterwards. So I possibly could do it. I've messed with video before, and they sent me licenses to a couple things where I can play with it. I'm just not quite sure where to put it if I actually put it together. So I'll just put a block C over your torso. And my laptop might crash, and I may go in there and go, okay. Hopefully Chris fixed it again. I'm probably gonna get a new one though, so which means I'll have to get used to it all over again. Stop it! I don't know who you are, LM, but stop it. What's the matter with you people?
So much.
My bad, Luke. You just jumped from one thing to another, and it just threw me off. That's all. We just having a silly day anyway, so you know, it's something we like to call around here as Wednesday. I haven't seen the boo box yet, so I don't know, but it probably did. Is the boo box actually a physical thing? It might be.
Yeah. All right. Wrapping up the final hour of the show. We're not wrapping it up. There's like 40 minutes left. You get the
I was
point.
going to say, you cutting out early or something? You didn't tell me about that, but you know.
All right. Rory McIlroy has skyrocketed up my list of favorite golfers recently. I mean, I already like the guy, right? He kind of cracked me up the other day. I don't know if you saw the video of this, Lonzo. It's available on social media. A fan brought a remote-controlled golf ball to one of the tournaments that Rory was in, and somehow he managed to get it on the green. And Rory walked up to it because he's like, whose ball is this, right? Like you know where your competitors' balls are. You know where yours are. Walked up on the green. There's a golf ball sitting there. He's like, whose ball is this? And he goes to bend over and pick it up. And the ball just randomly starts rolling away from him. And he's like, what? And he walks over to it, and it rolls away. It's like a scene out of a Saturday Night Live sketch. Well, Rory got tired of it. He was not in the mood to play. He picked up the remote control golf ball, and he just chunked it into a lake. Nope, you're not getting that one back. Well, Rory has decided to make it personal. Remember last week, we told you about the partnership between Rory McIlroy, Tiger Woods, and the PGA Tour. PGA Tour announced a bunch of big changes. For instance, if you are on the tour as an exempt player and you play in at least 15 events next season, you're getting $500,000. Doesn't matter doesn't matter how you place, whatever. If you're exempt and you play on the tour, you get $500,000. Just a little loyalty incentive for guys not to jump to the LIV Tour, as a number of players did over the last 2 days. Harold Varner's jumped over. Your boy Cam and his mullet have jumped over to the LIV Tour now.
So what? They're getting desperate.
That's what a lot of people feel like.
Wow.
Again, they kind of have to, right? The LIV Tour effectively has unlimited money. The
You know
Saudis
what?
are willing
You know
to throw
what?
unlimited money over.
They don't have to. They could be stodgy. They could be old-fashioned and go, "Oh, this is the prestige. This is where you need to be. If you want to go elsewhere, go ahead." They could do that.
They could.
Which golf has been kind of known to do in some cases.
Yeah, but they've never had a threat like this before, right? In the past, there was never a threat to to the PGA Tour, frankly. There was nowhere else for golfers to go, not make that money, right? Kind of look at it as you know what this is like? Direct correlation? WWE. For years and years and years, there was no competition, right? If you didn't like WWE and you were a wrestler, you didn't want to be there, good luck on the indies, kid. Good luck in the small promotions, kid. You're not going to make the money. You're not going to be seen, right? And then one day, what happened? AEW pops up. AEW propped up by a billionaire. AEW effectively with a pool of resources that made them a threat, even if they weren't a threat. And then you had a couple of top-tier names from the old jump over to the new. And then what's happening now? You don't have to like it, but WWE is making changes directly caused by AEW. It's the same situation. There was no competition for the PGA Tour. A new group founded by billionaires shows up, and a couple of big names jump over, and people go, oh, damn, this thing is maybe legit. And the PGA Tour now has to do some things that the new group was doing because they don't want to lose more to that group. Well, they announced the money for exempt players to make more money on to stay around longer. They have created, alongside Tiger and Rory, this new primetime television, effectively game show where they're using tech and VR and whatnot in front of a live studio audience to have arena golf. I'm all in. Well, Rory McIlroy was in Atlanta this weekend. The day after he collapsed Scottie Scheffler's 6-shot lead at the FedEx Cup finale and took a 15 million pound first place prize away from him. Now he plays in the BMW PGA Championship at Surrey, and although he is clearly not, or although he's excited about the tournament, he's very clearly not looking forward into running into players who were former PGA Tour mates, PGA teammates, Ryder Cup teammates. When asked about seeing them, the LIV Tour golfers who are eligible to play in this event, the BMW PGA Championship, he said, quote, "I won't be able to stomach seeing them," end quote. Damn, shots fired from Rory. He said, quote, "I hate what it's doing to the game of golf. I hate it. Like, it's going to be hard for me to stomach going to Wentworth and seeing 18 of them there. That just doesn't sit right with me," end quote. Man. I had to tell you, the LIV Golf v PGA Tour thing, it kind of went squirrely, right? Like, it got real hot at the beginning of the PGA Tour because it was a threat. It was something we'd never seen before. The old guard was finally, and for the first time ever, under threat by a new group. And then some names jumped over. Sergio jumped over, right? Some names jumped over. And when those names jumped over, it was like, oh, not only are they here, but they've gained some traction here. This is big. And then you started really taking into consideration how much money was on the table, how much money the Saudis had to throw at the LIV Tour, et cetera. And it's like, even if you don't like the Saudis, it doesn't matter because they don't care how you feel about them. They want this thing to be successful. They're propping it up. They've got unlimited resources and a desire to use them. But then it kind of died off a little bit, right? Lunsey, you go back 6, 7, 8 months, the LIV Tour v PGA Tour discussion, we had people who aren't golf fans that were like, oh, maybe I'm going to check in for this, right? Maybe this is a good reason for me to watch a little golf. I haven't watched golf in years, but maybe I'm going to check out this LIV Tour. Or maybe I'm going to watch the PGA Tour and see what changes they go, and maybe it'll be more exciting. Well, that has finally come to fruition with the Tiger v Rory PGA Arena golf thing, with the money being handed out to keep those golfers active so they show up at more tournaments. And that was fine. I mean, for a golf guy like me, hell yeah, it was interesting, right? If you're a golf guy, it was interesting. But I think a lot of the compulsiveness from non-golf fans who maybe haven't watched in a while to tune in and see I think it kind of went away, right? Because it kind of got quiet for a little while. But now you've got Rory cutting a full heel promo on guys that he'll be looking in the eyes the next time he plays golf, right? You know, it's one thing, Zoe, for me to sit here and go, you know, football player X is overrated or a bad dude or this or that or the other. Completely different thing if that guy's being interviewed on the show, right? Give you the example. Last year, I criticized DJ Uiagalelei a lot. I had some words for him. I don't think I ever got personal or got mean, but I had comments about the way he was playing the game of football. That I thought he could be better. That I thought he needed to work on X, Y, and Z. Well, when we were broadcasting from ACC Media Days in Charlotte a couple of weeks ago, I said at 9 a.m. at the beginning of my show, coming up around 10:30, we'll be joined by Clemson starting quarterback DJ Uiagalelei. Lonzo, I probably got between Twitter, Facebook, and my personal text on my personal phone, I probably got, Zoe, 25, 30, 35 messages from people that were like, Rob, after all you had to say about this kid last year, I'm tuning in to listen. Are you going to have the rocks to tell him to his face what you said about him last year? I want to know what he has to say about what you had to say last year. Right? Because we're more interested when dudes got to square off and go eye to eye. And doubly interested when they are competing in the process. And I said, DJ, here's what I said last year, man. Here were my criticisms. Here were my critiques. I want to be a man and tell you to your face. Here's what I said about you. Do you want to address that? And he did, and he was very respectful. We shook hands when it was over. Great dude. You know what I didn't say to DJ? I can't stand the sight of you. Sitting across the table and interviewing you makes me sick. You make me want to puke. That's effectively what Roy just said about these guys. And now he's got to go out there, not just and face them, not just and look at them, not just and answer questions about it in a press conference next to them. He's got to go play golf with them. He's got to go compete with them. He's got to go beat them. You think that the guys on the Live Tour, you think Sergio ain't showing up in this tournament now wanting to kick Rory McIlroy's rear end? You don't think the Live Tour guys don't want to show up and beat the boat out of Rory McIlroy and go, stomach that, Irishman?
So a golfer actually did what people have been wanting them to do and cause a little controversy, a little bit of excitement, a little bit of, hey, what do you think's going to happen when this happens kind of thing. So it's a work.
Anyway, NASCAR fans get the most excited over a race when there are two guys that are having it out with each other, right? When at the end of the race...
Except for don't run across the track after a car. That's just dumb. Don't do that. I mean, you want to throw your helmet, still dumb, but at least you're not...
Throw it from the side of the track, pal.
But, you actually hit that car, that helmet could bounce back and hit you. So, I mean...
NASCAR guys get excited about races when the race ends and the driver of one car says, that guy's a friggin' idiot. He drives like he's got rocks in his head. I don't know what the hell he's doing out there. Somebody needs to take him out. Payback is sweet. Revenge is there. Right? You're like, oh, damn, now I got to tune in next week. Because if these two guys get linked up, there might be a little carnage. I'm in. Now, with golf, it might be more interesting if Rory was allowed to wrap his pitching wedge around the dude's throat to go drive her upside the noggin, sure. But direct competition between two dudes who don't like each other and are trying to beat each other, it makes for the best everything. What game in week 1 of the NFL is everybody most excited about watching right now?
Panthers and Browns.
Damn right. Is it because the Panthers and Browns are two of the best teams in the NFL? Nope.
It's all Cynthia Freeland's fault.
We're going to bleep them up. Thank you, Cynthia. No. Carolina-Cleveland is going to be the most watched game of week 1. Not because Cleveland and Carolina are good. Not because everybody's like, Super Bowl preview. It's going to be the most watched game of week 1 because Baker wants to bleep them up. And yesterday, Myles Garrett said, yeah, we didn't have a problem with Baker. Now we do.
Just keep your helmet on, Myles.
We didn't have a problem. We didn't have a problem with Bake until now. Till he said he wants to bleep us up. Now we do. So now I got Baker v. Garrett. Now I got grudge match. What's better than a grudge match? And I don't care if you're talking about wrestling or NASCAR or golf or football or basketball. What's better than a grudge match? Nothing. It's the best you're going to get. It is 2 guys getting after it, or 22 guys getting after it. Rory said, I can't stomach looking at them. I can't stand looking at those losers and what they're doing to screw up golf. And not only does he have to look at them, he's got to go fight them now.
Maybe literally. We'll see.
Fingers crossed. Could you imagine? Breaking news now out of the most recent PGA tournament as Rory McIlroy and Sergio Garcia challenged each other. Rory said, meet me on the 9th at 9. We'll have more on the story as it develops. Like, I'm in. Got to tell you, outside of the majors, I know, I'm not dumb, I know the majority of you guys, don't care about golf.
South Carolina, it's golf country. How dare you say such a thing?
I stand by it. The majority of you guys don't care about golf. I would be willing to bet that a chunk, maybe not all, I'd be willing to bet that a chunk of you guys are now going to be interested in tuning in, if only to watch Rory v. the field. I am. 100% I am.
Yeah, but you know what's going to happen? Nothing. All this hype, no one's going to say anything to Rory. Rory's not going to say anything to anybody else other than they'll laugh it up and they'll move on because it's golf.
I agree, but had you told me a week ago that Rory was going to individually call, well, not individually, he didn't name names, but we know who we're talking about. If he was going to say, these guys make me sick, I can't stomach looking at them, I'd have been like, no, that's not a golf cut. But he did it. The PGA Tour is taking drastic steps to fight back. Hell yeah. Look, we may not get a fight. We might not get somebody getting tapped out because they got the shaft of a driver being held to their Adam's apple, right? We might not get a fencing fight between 2 dudes with 3 irons on the 18th fairway. You know what we will get? The best golf Rory McIlroy's played in years, and he's playing pretty good. The best golf the LIV Tour guys have played, including on tour. Why? Because now there's pride on the line. What do the LIV Tour guys get to do if, after all that talk, they go out and they beat Rory? 1 of them, 2 of them, 4 of them, 8 of them. They get to go, yeah, all that talk out of Rory, and we just beat the brakes off of him. You want to watch the LIV Tour now? We're better than them. Flip side, if Rory goes out there wearing the PGA flag and beats all 12 LIV Tour guys, what does he get to say? Why are you going to watch LIV Tour? The best golfers are over here. I just smoked every one of their chumps. I'm so in, dude. So in. Let's take a break. My name is Rob Brown. Lonzo's at the helm. The Rob Brown Show is on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate.
There's going to be some sort of faction betrayal happen. Someone from the PGA is going to turn and walk over to the LIV side. It's going to happen.
Somebody beats Rory and then takes off their hoodie to reveal a LIV Tour shirt underneath. And then Dennis Rodman shows up.
Of course he does. Come on. Come on. Okay, this thing's getting later and later. The world. Or maybe it's just not recording. There we go. That's 30 seconds later than yesterday. That's what I thought. Okay. I moved my hotkeys around a little bit yesterday, so I'm struggling finding things a little. So I'm getting tired of playing Far Cry 6. I want to go ahead and beat it. But one of the missions is you have to find these children that this one dude fathered and give them apology letters. But it doesn't tell you where they are. He just sends you pictures of where they live.
Right.
So you have to walk around to try to find the pictures. And I don't want to look it up online where they are. But I've reached a point where I can just walk into an outpost and take everybody out without hardly taking a shot. So I know I should be able to beat the game. But I want to play through some of the storylines to see how they end up. Plus a couple new games have dropped that I want to give a shot to. Well, I still have a little time because that's about
football season.
It's about to run out. Yeah. Busy on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Thursday. Plus, I got wrestling on Wednesday and Friday. And if NXT continues to improve, I got wrestling on Tuesday also.
All right, now we're steaming towards the end of the show. How's that? Putting a bow on hour number 3. Rob, Lonzo, you. If you want to jump in right here at the end, 844-FAN phone, 844-326-3663. Text us on the Preferred Home Services text line at 71307, 71307. Start your text with Fan FAM. We'll read them on the air. We got a couple more stories. We told you yesterday that the Jaguars and the Panthers reached a trade for Laviska Shenault Jr. The Jags receive a 7th-round pick next year and a 2024 6th-round pick in exchange for Chenault, who is interesting. He is semi-Dabo, or not Dabo. He's semi-Dabo-like. He's semi-Debo-like. Those are different people.
Yeah, those are different people with different skill sets. One's a little more versatile than the other.
Yeah, got a little more top end speed. Does Debo? Just a little bit. I don't know, man. I've seen Dabo coming down the hill. You know, if he can add a cut and a break into that.
One's also a former Gamecock, and the other one's
Correct.
Clemson. So I mean, all kinds of faux pas going on there.
Minor details. Semi Debo like. He's got the ability to move with the football, right? Now, he did have last year like the 11th highest drop rate in the league. So he's going to put some balls on the ground. But if you can get the ball to Chenault, he's got a really good chance of popping one. And you can do that from basically any position in the field. Slot, outside receiver, wildcat, put him back there in the backfield. He gives you some Debo-like versatility, just not quite as good as Debo. So it'll be an interesting experiment. Let's do that thing we do to end the show. Why not? I know we're 15 seconds early.
And now, the Rob Brown Show presents Twitter Trending Topics.
I wasn't even looking at you because I wanted you to finish your point first, because I would not have cut you off in the middle of a point.
I know you wouldn't.
I don't do that thing.
You're better than that.
Yes, I'm a professional. All right, it's time for Twitter Trending Topics, where I tell Rob what is trending on the internet, and he will tell us why it's trending. The first one, I hope he knows about this, but if not, he's going to need to look it up. Alfredo is trending.
Is it because of the truck crash? Yeah, I saw somewhere.
Oh, there's a picture. You should look up the picture.
Is it that bad?
Oh,
Really?
yes, it absolutely is.
I don't know how much it was, but apparently a truck carrying a shipment of Alfredo sauce overturned.
In Tennessee.
Oh my, that is a lot of sauce.
That's Alfredo. That road is Alfredo.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I've seen in the past, like there was a situation a couple of years back where a beer truck overturned, and basically like the beers went over the road, and it was such a big wreck that the cops were like, "Hey, show up, take the beer. Let's just come get the beer. Whoever, just come get the beer." And there were like so many people that showed up just to pick up cases of beer and take them home, which, yeah, duh, obviously. Here's the interesting thing. We saw the Alfredo truck crash, yesterday afternoon in Vacaville, California. A big rig truck turned over, causing 150,000 tomatoes to scatter across I-80. Passing vehicles ground them into a slippery red pulp, and they had to shut the highway down. Bad week for Italian food in the United States.
If you are presently driving a breadsticks truck, please be careful. Be careful. Just watch the road and everything. All right, the next thing is, by the way, look the picture up. It's a lot of Alfredo. It really is.
It's a lot of tomatoes, too.
Yeah.
Bad week for Italian fans.
All right, the next thing is trending is Jeff Hardy.
I saw him trending earlier, and I don't know why. I can't imagine. When he got...
It's nothing bad this time.
Well, is it about a return?
No.
Is he projected to return?
It's his birthday.
Ah, gotcha. Well, I would tell Jeff, don't celebrate that one way.
And if you do, stay at home.
Yeah.
I agree with the first one, but if you're going to anyway, which you probably are, stay at home.
Yep.
Stay on the compound. Just take it easy.
Stay on the compound.
You've seen it.
Yep.
We've all seen it. All right.
It's a dilapidated boat!
Yes. The last thing that's trending wasn't trending earlier. It is now. Winnie the Pooh.
So that, we talked in the past about that horror movie.
Sledgehammer, baby.
There's a scene in this Winnie the Pooh 100 Acre Wood horror movie where it's basically a demented, twisted version. Christopher Robin left 100 Acre Woods, and Pooh and friends all went demented
R.I.P.
psychopath murderers.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Well, they apparently apparently, not apparently, I watched it. In one scene, one of the creatures in the pool takes a sledgehammer to a character's head,
I'm pretty sure it's Pooh Bear.
and they show it.
Yes.
It's
yes.
very Game of Thrones. Like very Game of Thrones. I got zero interest in that movie, it turns out. None at all. None at all.
Whereas I'm going to watch it just so I can review it for the people.
I got nothing for you. Here's my review. Ain't watching it. Didn't watch it. Won't watch it. All right, kids, that's it for us. Jim Rome takes you offside. No, Jim Rome takes you in the jungle. Then Mark Ryan and Diesel take you offsides. I'm just mashing them all together. Have a great rest of your day. Don't work too hard. Don't drink and drive. I'll punch you in the face. For Lonzo, my name is Rob. You're listening to The Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate. Later, brother. All right, stream, you guys are awesome. I appreciate it. We will see you back here tomorrow.